Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andriy Shevchenko, and on behalf of Mediacentru Ukraine team, I want to greet all the journalists who tell the world about our fight for freedom. This time, we're going to talk with Daryna Marchak. She is the first Deputy Minister of Social Policy of Ukraine, and we will talk about how the state itself can support people who need this help within the martial law conditions. So, dear Daryna, can you tell us what is the social support or the support to those low-income citizens within the martial law conditions? Well, first of all, hello to you, Andriy. I think that it is hard time for everyone, but we all understand that we all are working for our victory, and I hope that together we will achieve this victory as soon as possible. When it comes to talking to the questions you asked, how to protect people during the wartime, I think first one has to start with the topic that what is the biggest challenges for the social policy of the state within the wartime conditions. And in order to sum up all these, we see several key challenges. First of all, this is the challenge of the declining of incomes of the people, since the economy has declined recently since the beginning of the war. As of today, we can see that as a result of war, there is a whole breaking of logistical chain. Also, there is a huge inflation, approximately 30% in this year. Also, one can see the huge amount of people who lost their jobs. And the key point is that we have too many citizens who lost their houses, whether it is ruined completely physically, and because they cannot be there at their homes right now, because of the constant shelling and continuation of warfare or the threats of airstrikes. And the next biggest challenge, we think that a huge amount of citizens, as a result of war, will receive impairing status, and we have too many people who are wounded, and we as a state have to react quickly at these challenges. Since a person who lost any limbs or extensions, if we do not provide a quick help to this person, there is a huge chance that these people will jump out of their normal rhythm of life, will not be able to find job, and as a matter of fact, will be taken until at the last line of extinction. And another challenge that we have is the help to those most vulnerable categories of population who have suffered the most as a result of war, and there is not much institutions that can take care of them. It's not only about IDPs, but also those categories of citizenship among IDPs who are the most vulnerable and not protected. We are talking about single people, of very aged people, people who do not have anyone to be taken care of, um, and all those who even before the war were there in the hard uh, life situations, and due to the war, these situations have declined sharply. So what you're saying is one can make a conclusion that we have increasing number of those people who need the help and financial help of the state urgently. Is it possible to talk in numbers by how many numbers it increased? Yeah, when we're talking about that, it's not about financial support. On the other hand, this is one of the drawbacks of our social policy, shown even before the war. Sometimes, when it comes to dealing with things, a state simply thinks that all what is need to be done is simply to provide finances and money. So despite whether financial help helps person to solve their problems and come back to active life, or as a result, we can have a situation when we allegedly slowly but surely provide finances to many number of citizens, but we do not see any results because these people cannot back to normal life. They do not back to financial independence and do not become the full-scale members of society. By what number have this number of people increased? Well, truth be told, the number has recently increased. Unfortunately, we do not have a chance to tell you in numbers, since you understand that the question of keeping the statistics regarding those people on the occupied territories, the territories who need some help within several categories of state help. But we can definitely say that we can see the increased number within IDPs. This is this known number, the time it has multiplied into 3. We have 4.6 points of IDPs, and these are only those who have registered themselves as IDPs. And we understand that in truth, in real life, the number of these people is more. So in the situation, we have very limited financial resource of a country, on one hand. On the other hand, the number of those people who need this help increased, and we have to reconsider the fact and the way how we're gonna help to these people. That is why, besides the financial support, that is also our priority as a ministry and as a state itself, as a government itself. The second way of our activity is to providing social services. We have to see and understand that a person or a family that is facing the adversary times, it's not only about us helping them financially, but we them provide them with with basically a chance to come back to normal, self-sustained life. And in this case, this is the priority for us. For example, a person receives, unfortunately, lost a wound and is impaired. If we provide this person with just financial help, this will not make the leg back. What the state can do in reality, we can provide them with a real and good quality prostheses. And in this case, we also have to immediately help this person to get used to the life with this artificial limb and to get used to the works that this person is capable of providing with this artificial leg. It means that financial help plus prothesing device plus social security services will result into this person being able to self-sustain and to be able to be independent. So basically, the reconsidering of social development and social policy is the cornerstone for us, and based on this, we are planning this financial providing to these people. Can we talk about the budget 2023? We all understand that this document basically appeared within the conditions of real economizing of everything. What are the priorities within your sphere of responsibility? How will this differ from those budget planned for 2022? What will be the changes? Well, the first priority is to assure the stable financing and funding for those people who need state support. Especially these are the pensioners, and as of today, we understand that pensions fund have received all the necessary money for the next year. That is why we do not anticipate and do not see any reasons for troubles when it comes to this. When it comes to dealing with with aged people. Plus, since October 2022, we are increasing the help of people who are already crossed the line of 70 years old. Since December, we are increasing the help to those people who are older than 65. And this is one of the biggest priorities. The second priority is the necessary support for IDPs. In this budget for the next year, we anticipate approximately 60 billion hryvnias for social help to IDPs in order to cover all the needs of these people who need this. The third priority is assurance of those people who are impaired, to assure that they receive all the necessary rehabilitation means. We are quite thankful to my Ministry of Finances, heard us and made several favorable steps into our direction. And it's not, so the funding of several programs have increased 2 times, and it's not only about those projects with international partners, but also domestic ones. The third step is an effective protection of those people who have lower income and are almost to cross this line according to our standards. So when it comes to these people, we are planning the special program for funding these people. There is approximately 38 billion hryvnias anticipated for the next year in the budget. Besides this, we have developed the law project. That is basically the procedures regarding inner circle inhabitants, and we will hope that this law will be accepted in the parliament, and we are planning to reform the instruments of support to those low-income citizens and to widen the coverage of all the citizens, doesn't matter their age or place of living, and we want basically to set some benchmark indicators within which we will compare the incomes of people. If we see that the income of this person is lower than this benchmark, then we as a state will take a step in and will help this person. If our parliament will support this initiative, we are planning on implementing of these new instruments. So you also have mentioned that war can push many Ukrainians out of the standards for necessary existence. When it comes to those legislation and laws regarding Ukrainians in their state right now, how can you characterize how bad the income of people is right now, and what is the influence of war when it comes to this? So we cannot tell you the exact numbers, as the numbers differ. For example, the World Bank estimates that the risks of being there behind the poorly line can increase up to 58%. But overall, this is the most pessimistic result. But all in all, the general assumptions are lower than 58%. Those inside the Ukrainian Institute, Special Demographical Institute, they provide a little different indicators. So all in all, there is no one exact and transparent number how many citizens can be drawn there behind the poor line. But we understand that the number will definitely increase, because before the war, the numbers were quite good. We were approaching quite positive trend before the war, when the number of people who are there behind the poor line was approximately 2%. So this was Daryna Marchak, First Deputy Minister of Social Policy of Ukraine. I'm thankful to you. Thank you to you. And I'm welcoming all the journalists to continue watching all